Hello, everybody. This is Angela here, and today is Sunday, October the 16th, I believe. And I haven't done a video in quite a long time, and I'm back and continuing on with my journey of dealing with narcissistic abuse. I figured that I would uh, make a video to talk about um, when no contact is your only option with a narcissist. For those who are familiar with my channel, I went through a very abusive and toxic relationship with my narcissistic mother, who has now since passed away. And I've taken the time to mourn the loss and cope with my mental health. But unfortunately, narcissism is infectious and it can be passed on to children of narcissists. And when there's a narcissist in the family or whatever. And unfortunately, my adult son shows serious signs of narcissistic personality disorder. And when I call people a narcissist, it's not meant to be taken as these people have narcissistic personality disorder. It's my personal opinion based on my own experiences and observations of the disorder, and not to be meant as a mental health diagnosis. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that. But when you're talking about narcissistic personality disorder and being in a toxic relationship with them, it can create a lot of drama, sadness, depression, and just basically your whole life is whole emotional state of mind is pretty much shattered and you're very unhappy. And so I want to talk about why no contact can be the only solution and probably the best solution. And this is something that I was struggling with, that I had to come to terms with my adult son and my three grandchildren. And so I'm going to give you a little history, a little backstory. I was married to a narcissist. Okay, my mother was a narcissist, and I had gotten married very young, to another narcissist. And it's not uncommon for people in dysfunctional relationships, children of narcissists, to meet and marry other narcissists you're attracted to with what you're familiar with. Okay, so he's pretty much extremely narcissistic, and that's a whole other story. I've done videos about my ex-husband. I was 16 years old. I had gotten pregnant by him. He was 23. Okay, and you know, yeah. And the relationship materialized very fast, and pretty much was all about him. And I had gotten away from him, and I struggled, and my kids suffered. And unfortunately, my oldest son pretty much inherited the dysfunction, partly for my fault, partly my ex-husband, partly my mother. Partly not having family support. There were a lot of elements that contributed to my son becoming a narcissist. And he had a child by one woman, and that relationship was toxic. She finally saw the writing on the wall and got the hell away from him, and she's pretty much no contact. But my grandson is, has contact, and there there is no co-parenting with him and my oldest grandson, him and his baby mama, the first one. She keeps her life very private and only deals with him very minimal, right? Because he's toxic. Um, so then, long story short, he meets this other woman, and He meets her in May of 2018. By September of 2018, which is about 4 months into the relationship, she's pregnant. She comes along, starts remodeling his kitchen, just pretty much bulldozes her way in. There was a lot of love bombing. And everything was topsy-turvy. He was trying to woo his other baby mama back into the relationship. He gets this one pregnant. It's like a whole lot of drama and dysfunction. I pretty much stayed out of it. Okay. But then, the kids started getting dragged into the dysfunction. He had a baby by the second woman, and it was really difficult dealing with trying to have a relationship with my granddaughter, second baby. And there was an incident. Now, every Saturday, okay, I had enrolled my oldest grandson, who was 9 years old at the time, in roller skating. Okay, I was picking him up every Saturday. The total travel time for me to pick up that child and take him back to where I live, which is very nearby to where my son lives, total travel time is 90 minutes without traffic. So I was doing him a favor, and I was taking the child and got him involved in roller skating, and the child was meeting other children, and he was enjoying the roller skating and the lessons, and I would take him out to eat. And I never said to my son, I need gas money, I need money for admission to the rink, I need money for the skates, etc. I paid for all that and never asked for anything. Um, my son saw that I was getting a little too close to his child and decided to pull a stunt. And this is typical of a narcissist. He turns around, and I asked him, what time should I drop off my grandson to his house uh after skating? And he said, I don't have him next weekend, right? So I didn't understand what that meant. I misunderstood and thought that he was working, because sometimes he's on call on a Saturday. And I figured that I would do him a favor and keep the child with me until he got home from work. So I totally misunderstood what he said, because he was ambiguous in his communication. And what happened was, I went to go pick up the child to take him roller skating. And when I saw the child's mother, I said, um, what's going on? I said, I guess Frankie's working. And she's like, yeah, I guess he's working, you know. We both thought that he was at work. So I take the kid roller skating. It's a normal Saturday routine. It's about 1 o'clock, and I texted him and asked him, what time do you want me to bring the child home to you? No answer. So I was texting his girlfriend, and I'm like, what time do you want me to bring the child home? No answer. So I texted like about 3 times him and a couple times her. I didn't call, I texted. So next thing I know, she's enraged and saying to me, I'm at a wedding and you're ruining my wedding. Like she was bridesmaid in the wedding, and my son never said that they were at a wedding. I had no idea. So all this drama started as a result of that wedding and the miscommunication. So it started a big fight. And then my son said, well, you can't see your grandchildren anymore. And I was so upset that I turned around and I told his baby mama, oh, well, you know what? I'm like, this is just wrong. I'm like, he's nothing but a liar and a cheat. And I told her the truth about what was going on, which I shouldn't have done because it made it worse, but it made the situation much worse. But the reason why I did it was because I was acting emotional and I wasn't thinking, and this was all created by the narcissist. So for a whole year, for that crime of not understanding what the deal was for that Saturday, I was accused of trying to break them up because he reframed the truth, not to make himself look like he was at fault for the miscommunication. And she took his side. And what happened was, excuse me, Jerry, you need to go in the other room with that phone, please. So what happened was, um, I wasn't able to see my grandchildren for a whole year. Long story short, they had another baby. She got pregnant again. I didn't even know about it. She had the baby. So now there were two children by this woman. And so we mended fences. I sent money in the form of a check. She didn't want it, you know, and, you know, some fences were mended. And I was able to see my grandchildren again. And I thought that this would be a good way to try to um, see my grandchildren on a limited basis. There would be no more skate lessons or anything because my son pulled the child out of skate lessons. Oh, no, 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 you can't skate anymore. You're not allowed to take him skating. You're not allowed to spend any time with him, on a structured visitation schedule. You're not allowed any of that. Okay. I had to come to the reality of that. So I thought, well, maybe I can just keep it very light on a limited basis, and take the child skating on a very relaxed basis every once in a while. Well, that didn't work, okay? And that he pulled another stunt. And it's a Saturday morning, and I texted him because I don't just show up at his house, okay? I don't like anybody just showing up on my doorstep, you know. I respect other people's boundaries that way. So I would text him and I'd say, what's going on? You want me to come and help out with the kids? Would you like me to take the child skating? And he just said he doesn't want to skate anymore. He's bored with it. I went out and I had bought him a $175 pair of skates just recently. And the child was very excited about it. And it's not the child's words. Okay. The child didn't come to me and say, Grandma, I don't want to skate anymore. It was his father. So, of course, it was meant to hurt me, or maybe it wasn't meant to hurt me, but it was just meant to be like, oh, well, he's bored. You know, I'll do something else. And I noticed that the past couple times that I've went over my son's house, my grandson was very, very depressed. He was very withdrawn, staying in his room, playing video games all day, not interacting. And the reason for that was because his father and the current baby mama were saying very disparaging things about my grandson's mother in front of the child. And I had mentioned to my son before he pulled the second stunt that when you say disparaging things about the other parent in front of the child, it's like taking a fist and punching the child in the stomach. I'm like, this is very hurtful to the child. It's like, why would you do that to your child? And I think that could have caused a narcissistic injury, which caused my son to pull the stunt. So then it was my grandson's birthday in September. And like I said, I hadn't seen my grandchildren in over a year. And his girlfriend had thrown a party for my grandson. Now, keep in mind, this is not her biological child. And although I appreciate, being invited and everything, I was pretty much left out. Um, when I went over there, she and her girlfriend were decorating the house, and I was just sitting there feeling very hurt that I wasn't invited to participate in anything. When I tried to politely express my feelings, she accused me of it being all about me. It's all about me and how much she loved, quote unquote, loved my grandson, and that's why she threw a party. And I saw myself falling down the rabbit hole once again of narcissistic abuse, of all this drama, of not being able, of not communicating to her, trying to make her understand the concept of humility, the concept of how about humbling yourself and acknowledging that this is not your child and that this child's biological grandmother has been alienated from her grandchild for over a year. Don't you think it would be nice to include her? Okay. In order for myself to not feel totally excluded, what I did was I asked if I could bake a cake and I made a strawberry shortcake. Okay. Which was my son's favorite cake. My grandson didn't like it, but I wanted to at least do something. My granddaughter's birthday was in June. I wasn't included in any of that. Uh, the baby's mother and her aunt planned the whole party. Everything was all about her. The baby runs to the aunt with the hugs and kisses, and the grandmother gets the shaft. I get nothing. The child is scared of me. The child doesn't know me. The child, and I didn't push for the child to come because I understand that it's not the child's fault. The child's not going to know me. This is what the reality is when you're dealing with an adult child who has narcissistic personality disorder, who's extremely codependent, and who's involved in a relationship with a total control freak. Okay, who could very well also be a narcissist. Okay, I don't know, but I definitely see that she's not a person that I can reason with either. She's not a person that can look at the big picture and humble herself and see that this is hurtful. And I tried to explain, I'm not angry, I'm hurt. And then it's like, oh, it's all about you. It's all about you. Don't you know it's your fault? And how dare you want to have a relationship and quality time with your grandchild, right? But to conclude this pretty long video, I have decided to pretty much go no contact. Now, there's another birthday party today for the baby, the youngest grandchild. He just turned 1. And I have decided not to attend. And I did not want to fall down the rabbit hole of drama. So I want to share what I told my son, because he invited me, and I just kept it very light. And I said, "Good morning. I left a card and gift in your mailbox for the baby. I'm sorry, but I am unable to attend the party today. I'm sure that it will be amazing and that you and she, his baby mom, I don't want to name many names, did an amazing job putting it together, but I have a lot going on at the moment and I am unable to attend. Enjoy your day." His answer was, "Okay, sorry you can't make it." And I did not respond to that. I'm slowly going no contact because it's the only way to deal with it. I deserve to be happy, and so do those children. And me being around is only going to create more conflict and pain and drama as the kids are used as pawns in with the narcissist. Children are nothing but a weapon to use with narcissists. And I've seen it in my professional life. And here it is in my personal life. And I don't want to go through it anymore. It's not fair to them. They don't deserve this abuse. So no contact is the only option. It's painful, okay? But being in a relationship with a narcissist is also painful. But at least going no contact, at least the pain will heal. Staying in contact, it's not going to heal and it's never going to get better. So there's your options. The Little Shaman had pointed that out in her video, called No Contact. I'm going to put the link below to her video for anybody who's interested in that. And that's basically all I have to say. It's good to be back, and I hope everyone is well. I'm just doing me and focusing on putting my life back together and healing from this hurt. So that's where I'm at right now. Hope everyone is doing okay. Have a great day, all.